session is called Leading Strategy Work, and the points that I'm trying to make is to sensitize people to the fact that strategy is not something that organizations have, but actually something that people in organizations do. So I try to explain and help to explore with the participants their practices of strategy work. How is strategy done in your organization? What tools do you use? What processes do you use? Who's involved? And oftentimes, from sharing that with their colleagues, they realize that there are other ways of doing that. The second point is I try to sensitize them to different lenses of strategy. There is strategy as design, which is a very left brain activity, very analytical, very logical. There is strategy as experience. We tend to go for our past successes to make sense of our future strategy. There is a third lens, which is strategy as variety. Where do we get the new ideas from? And these new ideas often come from the bottom, they come from the periphery of the organization. So I try to introduce them to the fact that strategy work is very much relies on the chosen lens. I offer to the participants in this particular session the possibility to use themselves, their peers, as resources to critically reflect on their strategic practices. I address 4 questions with them. The first thing is, what is the strategy of your organization? And they realize that it's more difficult than they think to communicate that. Secondly, I ask them to describe and share with their peers what their actually strategy lens is, and they realize that very much the dominant lens is the strategy as planned thing, and they have too little of the variety. The third element that I want them to explore jointly is the struggle of implementation, because designing and writing a strategy is difficult enough. What is more difficult is the implementation of the strategy. Namely, we ask them, what are things that you in the future will say no to, strategy-wise? What are projects that you're going to stop? And make consistent choices which create a sense of direction to the organization. There's a fundamental difference between setting direction and creating a sense of direction. One is about goals and the other one is about communicating and creating a context within which people can strategize. Participants of this program, I think, walk away with a better sense of their own repertoire of leadership skills. I believe that they also start appreciating their incompleteness, not as a bad thing, but as a good thing. I think they start appreciating that they need others to enable them to be good leaders, because there are no leaders without followers. And I believe that that creates a more humble, but I believe in the end, a more effective way of being a leader in an organization.